Good morning and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Thursday, March 23rd. And one of the headlines we're looking at is potential freezing rain advisories for well up north. That would be primarily for northern and northeast lower Michigan into the UP, where there could be some ice accumulations, and we'll look at that in just a moment. As far as the rest of the headlines, looks like we'll have some sun, some cool conditions this morning, but then we'll see temperatures moderate into the 40s here later today, and then I think we have a chance of showers moving in by late in the day, especially in the northwestern areas. And then rain moves in overnight into much of the weekend, with I think most areas picking up between 3/4 of an inch to 1.25 inches, maybe around 1.5 inches or better as you get up towards central and north central lower Michigan, which would include Newaygo, Breckenridge, Middleton, or towards Marlette area from there north. Again, there could be some heavier amounts. And then over the next couple of weeks, again, warmer than normal and wetter than normal conditions expected across much of the U.S. If we look at the next couple of slides, you can see pretty nice day out there yesterday. This from Sandusky High School and this from Brown City with lots of sunshine, but looks can be deceiving as it was quite chilly with highs only in the upper 20s over in the thumb area and many areas only in the low 30s. Our normals for the day is 44 for a high and 24 for a low. You can see it can be quite chilly, 5 below zero back in 1906 and 7 inches of snow fell on this date back in 1968. If we look at the next shot, you can see the warmest and coldest temperatures across the U.S. for the day on Wednesday. 104 degrees at Rio Grande Village in Texas, and the low 16 below zero at Mount Washington in New Hampshire. As far as conditions around the MAC and LAC areas yesterday, you can see temperatures mainly in the low to mid 30s across the area. But again, as you get over towards eastern Michigan over into southwest Ontario, temperatures stay below freezing in the upper 20s to around 30. And you can see we're almost 4 degrees below normal per day for the month of March, so a pretty chilly March continues. If we look at why we were cold and why we were expecting to be cold, you got a lot of key ingredients. You got a northwest wind flow. Again, at nighttime, light winds, dew points down around 11 degrees, and very high barometric pressure indicating high pressure overhead, so that's why we experienced the last couple of nights temperatures in the teens, so very chilly out there. If we look at conditions around the area this morning, temperatures again about 5 degrees warmer than yesterday, mainly in the mid 20s. Still some upper teens though across the thumb area over into southwest Ontario. Very, very chilly out for this morning, but again, we'll warm up nicely this afternoon with temperatures climbing into the 40s. You can see on radar, this is some areas of precipitation breaking out across Minnesota, coming into Wisconsin and the UP. Much of this in the form of wintry precipitation, freezing drizzle, where there are winter weather advisories out for portions of Minnesota, and I expect those winter weather advisories to be extended into the UP and perhaps into northern lower Michigan here, as we do expect some pretty cold air with a northeast flow around that Canadian high pressure system, keeping low level temperatures quite chilly. And you can see more precipitation breaking out across Missouri. Again, when the warm front begins to push, that's when most of the precipitation will be heading into the MAC area for very late tonight into much of the weekend. You can see this first initial batch of precipitation quite light, but as the warm front and the storm gets organized in the Rockies and begins to pull to the northeast, that warm front will lift up into the Great Lakes, bring in some showers, maybe some thunderstorms very late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and then primarily it's going to be a rain pattern after that. If we look at the low-level wind fields, you can see that high-pressure system with the calmer winds and cold conditions will continue to move off to the east. We'll get into a nice return warm flow out of the southwest in southern wind direction. That'll bring up the Gulf moisture with that warm front. And if we look at the weather map this morning, low pressure system organizing in the Rockies, again, it'll eventually pull out into the plains towards the Great Lakes. This warm front will lift to the north, and that'll bring lots of precipitation and some severe weather, especially across the deep south. And again, that low pressure system begins to get on the move tomorrow. The warm front now up into central Michigan. I think it'll get up even a little farther northern than what this is depicting. And with that, I think temperatures Friday could be well into the 60s from around Saginaw to Muskegon on off to the south, and possibly approaching 7 degrees in our areas like Blissfield and Jasper, or towards Hillsdale and towards Niles. And if we look at the weather map again for the day on Saturday, that warm front becomes stationary, begins to sag to the south, and again, we're going to have to watch for freezing rain as you get into northern lower Michigan and back into the UP, with showers possible, even a couple of thunderstorms across far southern lower Michigan, and a chilly rain across portions of central Michigan. And again, when all said and done, I think many areas will pick up over an inch of rainfall, especially across central lower Michigan. As far as some of the high temperatures expected here for the day on Friday, you can see the GF has lots of 60s and even some temperatures near 70 off to the south. And then the red numbers, those are from the European model. You can see 70-degree temperatures, quite common from around Lansing off to the south, and low to mid 60s across mid-Michigan. But it doesn't take very far in distance to get back into the cold air. Only 41 degrees expected around the Houghton Lake area. And again, once you get up into northern Michigan, especially in the evening through the morning hours, we could see freezing rain in portions of those areas. As far as where I'm really concerned about the freezing rain, you can see across northeast lower Michigan back into the UP. And again, as far as rainfall amounts, this pinker area approaching 1.5 inches or better precipitation, with amounts of 1 inch or so all the way through all the MAC area. So again, a pretty soaking wet period coming up from late tonight right on through the weekend. And if we look at WeatherWatch this morning, you can see those winter weather advisories for the freezing rain across portions of Wisconsin now coming in, expected to, I think, be issued for portions of the UP and northern lower Michigan here later on today. High fire danger, high winds off to the southwest, and some more freeze warnings across portions of the Ohio Valley and Tennessee valleys. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great Thursday, and 73s to all.